Hello guys, my name is Filip and today I would like to show you how to set filter by using IronPython script. In my previous video, I showed how to add drop-down menu to the text area and how to use document property for filtering charts. It is nice and easy solution, but it has some disadvantages. Sometimes you really need to change the filter and not just limit data in some chart. It is also a much more transparent solution for end user, but for developer too. So without further ado, let's dive into it. This is my solution from the previous video. By the way, the link to the video is below in description. I have a bar chart and a drop-down menu. The drop-down menu is saving values to document property, which is then used in the data limitation of the chart. As you can see, it works fine, but when we check filters, give me a second, and yeah, they are not touched at all. Let's see our today's solution. When I change the year in drop-down menu, the checkbox filter is adjusted accordingly. So how does it work? We still have a drop-down menu, right? And when I open it, we still have some document property and we still save some value into it. However, when I check data limitation of the bar chart, there is nothing, of course. Let's go back to document property. As you can see, there is a column called script and also a button called script. Let's click on it. There is only one script. Let's click on edit and maximize the window. Here we have our script. First field is the script name. Then we have description and then the actual script. Hash is used for comments. The most important part of the script is the first row, of course, but otherwise we have only a few lines of code. At first, we need to import checkbox filter. To use a library, including a Spotfire library, you have to declare it at the beginning of the script, and that's what we are doing here. We are importing checkbox filter because our year filter is a checkbox filter. Then we need to create a reference to the filter. We need to specify to Spotfire the object. So at first we are telling it is in the document and in the filtering scheme with index 0. It is in the data table and the column is called year ID. Then we say that we should reference this object as checkbox filter. My data table is script parameter and the value can be seen here. After that there is a loop. To be more precise, there is a for loop. Through this for loop we uncheck all values in the filter. And then there is a last line of code which is handling the checking of the year that we have in our document property year. And that's all. Easy, right? If you understand it and just want to copy the code, go to our blog, link is below. If you are a beginner in this area, stay tuned because I am going to develop and further explain everything what I just showed you. Okay, let's start. At first, let me add a text area. Now I will add property control, so insert property control and drop-down list. I will create new document property called year. Data type will be integer and we need to give it some initial value, for instance 2004. Okay, now we have to tell Spotfire that we want to set our properties through unique values in column and select column year in my case. Now we have drop-down list which saves unique values from year ID column to document property called year. Okay, next step is preparation of the script. You have several options of how to create new script in Spotfire, but the most easy option for our case is simply click on script in our current window. Each time the property value changes, perform this action. Okay, select execute the script selected below and click on new. You have to assign to the script some name. Let's call it, for instance, year filter. It is also good to add some description. It will help you in future when you quickly need to know what's the purpose of the script. So I really recommend it. Okay, first of all, we need to use some library. We have to declare it in the beginning of the script. How? Well, syntax is from library namespace import class. Okay, I suppose that next question is how should I know which namespace and which class? Let me show you two web pages. First one is official Tibco API reference. In our case, we need to work with checkbox filters, so let's try to use search field. Okay, checkbox, search. We can see that there is a checkbox filter class. Let's double click. Okay, now you can see the namespace and the class. There are also properties and methods, but we don't have to worry about them now. Let's copy the namespace and insert it to our script window. Okay, and the same with class. Okay, so from spotfire.dxp.application.filters import checkbox filter. Okay, I want to pause here a little bit. Very often it is not so easy to find the correct namespace and class. Therefore, I recommend to Google a lot and also this web page. I will insert the link to the description. This page is really good, mainly in terms of referencing the visualization and visualization properties. Okay, let's go back to our code. We need to say which filter should be adjusted. Let me copy this row to avoid typos. Okay. You must exactly specify which filter you want to work with. It means to specify filtering scheme, data table, and finally the column. You need to also cast the filter. In our case, we cast it as checkbox filter. Okay, let's briefly discuss all of the parts. Filtering scheme can be addressed by the name or by the index. You should remember that there is a zero-based index. It means that we are referencing our first filtering scheme. My data table is not the name of the actual data table in the analysis. We have to also define it, and we have to define it as data table object. We can add it as a script parameter. It is very easy. Let's click on add, assign it a name, in my case my data table, type is data table, of course, and I have only one data table in my DXP, therefore I select the only one available. Confirm. Okay, let's try it and click on Run Script. Good. No error in the output. I will show one very good thing for developing the scripts, and that's print. Let's print my year filter to see what we have in it. Okay, we see that selected values are 2003, 2004 and 2005. What should be the next step? We want to uncheck all values and check the one selected in the drop-down menu. We will use for loop for unchecking all checked values. For value in my year filter dot values and colon. Then we need to use indent. So indent my year filter dot uncheck and value. Now every value in my year filter values will be unchecked. If you want to know more about control structures, for instance about loops, visit for instance W3 School webpage, again link in the description. Uncheck method is again described in the Spotfire API. Last thing that we have to do is to check the value that we have in the document property. At first, we write my year filter, then method check and parentheses. Inside them we need to write our document properties. So document dot properties square brackets and the name, in my case year. And that's it. Let's run the script and check that we do not receive any errors. Yeah, okay. Let's check our script in the dashboard. Okay, as you see, script works because our filter is being changed based on the selected year. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you find my videos useful, and feel free to share ideas for the next video. Bye!